Welcome back to the MANvFAT World YouTube channel. Thank you for joining episode 104. And I'm joined by, for the very first time, by Stan's player of the season, actually, last season, wasn't he? Leigh Jones. Hello.
Hello.
Formerly of Pink Lazies, now of, can't remember.
Inter Miami.
Ah, yeah, the other blue team.
The other, and yellow.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got a little bit of yellow in there.
Well, we're the other blue team and white. I was worried. I was worried about these clashing blues, but I think, what colour blue have you gone for? Is it?
It's like a royal blue, but it's like a scarred blue on the edges, so
Okay.
it's very distinct.
Is there much yellow in it?
Yes. Yeah, it's very, very different to all blue. We've gone for the stripes, scarring, obviously then the lines, yellow, and then yellow arms.
Oh, okay. It sounds like it'll be okay when we play you then.
Yes.
Ours will look like this.
No, completely different. We'll be absolutely fine.
Excellent. So we want to talk about you and your experiences with the programme to date. Let's talk about the very beginning then. What was it that brought you along to us in the first place?
Bit of a strange one, because I was on my way home from work one night, and Phil Sorrell, who's obviously my best mate, brings me out of the blue and says, how are you doing? How's it getting on? I said, yeah, just driving home. I said, what are you up to? And he said, I'm on my way to five-a-side. I said, oh, I'll have a game. And he said, you can't. You've got to join the programme, it's MANvFAT. So he was telling me a little bit more about it, and I was like, oh, that's something I quite like to get involved with. Now, I'll always be honest, from a footballing perspective, one thing I've always struggled with is my fitness and my weight.
Right, okay.
Well documented throughout my refereeing career, but as soon as he was telling me about the background and what people were up to and what everyone was achieving, quite enjoyed it. And it was probably about a month after you had Ian Holloway here.
Oh God.
So it was kind of one of them things that I thought, wonder what this is all about. So he signed me up. I signed the link and everything. His team was short, so they actually placed me on his team, the Greens at the time.
That was Scoffenheim.
The Scoffenheim, yeah. And that was probably just over about 18, 20 months ago.
Was it that
It's
long?
that long now, yeah. So
I think about that Ian Holloway moment.
it was Phil who got me into it, and I'll be honest, I dismissed it to start with, just thinking it was just a general five-a-side gathering on a Friday night. But after the first week, I realised how intense it was and how serious people were taking, and I thought, I quite like a bit of this. So I joined full time, signed up. I was a bit apprehensive when the team split because I didn't know anyone. Being a more Caerphilly boy, coming down to Newport, and as Champo mentioned, me being involved with a certain football club, and then playing against people in Newport
He's got vengeance.
Yeah, it was a bit of an awkward moment sometimes. But I got to be fair, since I have joined, I was at the Lazies at the time, I've got to know a lot more people. I've had opportunities to go to MANvFAT because it's literally closer, but I genuinely think that people down here make it even better for me.
Have you been to MANvFAT?
I've been up there. I've had a look around because I used to do some coaching for the kids up there. Nice guys, we played against them on 11s. I haven't sort of entertained joining them full time or anything.
It's a great venue.
It's a fantastic venue. I played for MANvFAT in the youth, and seeing it going from grass pitch to 3G, it's phenomenal. But this place, I've got to be fair, the people down here, they kind of make it. It's kind of funny because I come from a golfing background as well, and one of the golf clubs I was at was very social based, and this is very similar. Even though the travel is quite extensive on a Friday night, it makes it worthwhile. So yeah, from going from a phone call away all the way to 2 years later.
That's a great story. Being that long is mad as well. I had Joe Jackson from Hefty, or formerly of Hefty, on here a few episodes ago, and he was saying he came from Preston, and he was saying that the standard of football is higher, but also the standard of boys is like so much higher. Like everyone just is much more of a community, and people talk more. Yeah. And that's not a slight on Preston, but I think it's good for us to see that actually the provision here is really great. It's greater than perhaps other leagues. No slight on MANvFAT though, so MANvFAT is a phenomenal,
it's really good,
phenomenal setup there as well. So you came on the back of the phone call with Llanwern Coffee.
Yeah.
What was the goal? Did you have a particular goal in mind then?
It changed. So generally it was more fitness based to start with.
Yeah.
I'd come off the back of a couple of bad injuries, which kind of prevented me kind of on my refereeing career. And I came actually the first season injured, and I actually said to the team, I said, look, I won't be able to play as much as you'd expect, but I'll give my all. So I was really suffering with a bad knee injury, and I said to Phil, as long as it gets my fitness up, maybe I can go back refereeing, then brilliant. It kind of turned down and thought, well, this is actually a lot more intense than I thought. So not only will it do my fitness well, it actually made me lose a few pounds along the way, which was the main purpose of the league anyway. But that kind of changed then when I got fitter. I felt as if I was getting fitter. I was certainly losing a bit of a weight. I hit my 5% really early. I actually then went back playing football 11-a-side. And that was something I would never have seen me doing, because I just didn't feel as if I could continually do it with not only injuries but the fitness as well. It's only local football, but still you don't want to be that one person lagging around on a football pitch. So the goal first of all was just general fitness, quickly progressed to, well, this is weight loss and fitness, and enjoyed it.
What I like about these goals is they're much more qualitative in terms of there isn't a number that you want to achieve. There isn't even like a clothes size you want to achieve. It's a standard that you're looking to attain, and that can obviously fluctuate from where you are. You've become quite involved with lots of the things that flick about with MANvFAT, particularly the 11-a-side stuff. Did you join the 11-a-side team that you play at before the 11-a-side here, or did the 11-a-side here come first?
If I remember rightly, we played a friendly, a club friendly on a Friday night in very Baltic cold weather. And
I remember falling over.
It was cold.
It was horrid.
Yeah, and the 3G had kind of frosted over as we were playing throughout the night.
It's huge as well.
Yeah, but that night kind of helped me integrate with the team as well, or the guys here, because I didn't know anyone, didn't really. A couple of obviously from the Greens at the time, and then progressed to the Lazies. I kind of knew one or two, but that helped me then fit more in. When they mentioned the 11-a-side, I thought, am I ready for that? And then I played the first game down in Swansea, which was a bit of an eye-opener in terms of fitness compared to everybody else.
They've got a really good start.
Yeah, really, really good. And they said the pitch really helped down there, because I do struggle normally on 3G with my knee, but I felt comfortable. And then I was asked to play an 11-a-side game for my friend's team, because they were short on players, and I thought, go for it. I'm feeling good myself, fitness is getting better, losing weight, my knees were surviving, and I went ahead and played it. So I think it was more the inter-club friendly that we had first of all before I joined the official 11s.
I'm really pleased something good came from that, because that night I felt so like I didn't play. I'm not a footballer anyway, but lots of stuff was going wrong. I kept slipping over on the ice. I just didn't enjoy it. So I'm pleased that it was a different experience for you. And obviously MANvFAT's opened a couple of doors there for you. Interesting point you made about the team split and not really knowing anyone after your first team. I think these team splits, we do them reasonably regularly, which I think is great, because it makes the club so much smaller.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is you're probably still in the Scottenham chat.
Yes.
You're probably still in the Lazies chat.
Yes.
Now you've got the Pyami chat. You know all these people. So you're going to see them when you come here, and that just brings everyone so much closer together. And I think it's created such a fantastic knit group.
Yeah. It's different, because we had, obviously with the team split first of all, we had two players come from the Greens obviously into the Lazies, but those people decided it wasn't for them, they moved on, and I felt then, I thought, right, hopefully the others kind of welcome me in, and they were absolutely fantastic.
Right.
To the point then, when we lost one of our players due to a long-term injury, they asked me to be vice-captain, and even though I made an absolute balls up on my first ever decision-making kick-off time.
Yeah, I remember that. I wasn't going to talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that.
I think so far I've done well, which now obviously would lead me into the Pyami, because obviously I'm captain of the Inter Pyami, and Phil's vice captain. So it's nice that me and Phil have kind of been reunited when he's the one who brought me here. I'm captain and he's vice. No, I've had a great friendship with Phil. He's my best man, and if he absolutely, he's my best man at my wedding. So if he tells me this is a good thing, then 100% believe him. And like I say, 2 years later, it's still a good thing. So he was absolutely spot on with it.
You mentioned before we started filming about a refereeing career.
Yeah.
Now, I think you've got to be a special kind of person to want a career in refereeing. What's that looked like?
So my father was a very, very well established referee in the early days, and obviously within the English leagues, the football leagues, and then obviously once the Wales football sort of Premier League kicked off, he was one of the first ones to come across into the Welsh Prem. I followed him round. I got to know football clubs, I got to know football officials in terms of club officials, and then the referees all knew who I was. Now, I'll be honest with you, nobody ever grows up thinking, I want to be a referee. But when I was playing football as a young age, there was never a referee, and I always felt nervous at times when I was playing maybe a year up, and I was getting some tackles coming in. We never had a referee to protect you. It was maybe the coach's father or the other team's fathers. I always felt we should have referees.
Yeah.
So I actually done my referees course when I was 14.
Wow.
I didn't take refereeing full time because I could still referee the junior leagues, but then I could play maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday. So I'd done that for a few years, and then refereeing, I'm not saying it came natural to me, but I had a lot more advantage to me because my father, the clubs knew me, so I wasn't getting as much stick as maybe other referees would do. So I was more their mate, and I played football, so kind of at that football level. I think quickly it progressed really, really well. Not so much fast track because obviously you've got to earn your stripes in refereeing. I went from the local leagues to the Welsh League, and then within 2 years I was on the Welsh Premier League as an assistant referee. And then I thought, this is where it gets serious. Now, I'd always struggled with my fitness and my weight, and then it became more apparent that I needed to focus on that if I wanted to take this next level up. And when 2016, I got appointed to a particular game. I thought, well, there's only one reason why I'm getting this particular game, and it was to be tested, and came through there with good flying colours, I suppose. I had a phone call one day in work then saying, subject to fitness test, I would next year be a tier 1 referee, which is, at the moment, obviously with your local level, it would be the pinnacle of your refereeing career. So refereeing the Welsh Premier League.
Refereeing what? So in the middle?
Yeah, referee full on. You'd obviously be fourth official duties as well. And when you make that phone call to your father saying, kind of made it, it was good. Do you
still do it?
I don't. So I had a few years at the Welsh Prem. Unfortunately, during the build up to a fitness test, I tore my quad, and I was too eager to get back. And then when I'd done the fitness test again, it went on the fitness test. We have to do, it's 10 laps. So you have to do a round. I think it's 10 laps, a 75-metre sprint, 25-metre walk, 70 metre, and certain times within that. And on lap, I think 7 or 8, it went. And I could complete it, but obviously I was short of the distance. And I think when I look back to what caused injuries and what caused me not to go in that direction, it was probably because of my eating habits, my weight, my own general fitness. I should have been more prepared physically and sort of dietary wise if I wanted to continue at that level. And I look back, I was absolutely gutted when I couldn't carry on. I had the opportunity to drop back down into the Welsh Leagues, which I'd done for another 2 years, and then COVID hit.
COVID.
And when you're spending week in, week out with your family and not spending it on a Saturday, because if you imagine the Welsh Premier League, it goes from anywhere from Bytown all the way up to Bangor at the time. So if you was up in Bangor or you're up in Rill, you're leaving 7 o'clock in the morning, you're not getting back until 9, up to 10 at night on a Saturday. So your Friday nights are kind of out for preparation, and then your Sundays are out then because you're absolutely knackered. And then obviously I got 3 young kids. So I think when lockdown hit, it made me realise a little bit more. Quite like spending time with the weekends with the family. We were going out a lot more places, camping. We love camping, love my fishing, and I think they enjoyed it as well. So I decided enough was enough. I still do it. Recently done Thomas versus Manchester United Legends, because obviously being a Thomas boy, they asked me to partake, which was absolutely a great honour. I'm doing another friendly next week for Thomas, just to keep fit, keep involved, but give something back, because refereeing has given me loads. You know, travelling all the way up and down Wales. I had the opportunity to referee 2 games in Iceland, so that was an experience. Unfortunately, because of the injury, I didn't end up going. It was a week before I was due to fly out. It happened, so that was absolutely devastating. But even to be considered to go out there in the first place,
course.
It's massive. And like I said at the beginning, nobody grows up thinking I want to be a referee. But if I could tell you one thing, it's a great opportunity. If you want to get into something where a bit more confidence in yourself, because you're in control of 22 players on a football pitch, and everything is sort of resting on you to keep control. It's a lot of responsibilities, but it helped me with my confidence.
I actually had a pal who, from the age of 12, said that's what he wants to do. He wants to be a referee. So people do have it as a career ambition.
It's a great career path.
It did give him a lot as well. He's just been appointed to. He's going to be on the lines for League 2 in the English leagues next season.
It's, like I said, and that is somewhere where you decide where you want to go. So if you want to be an assistant referee, then brilliant, there's your career path. If you want to be a referee, then there's a different career path there, but you get to choose. But as long as you're being recognised in the right areas and you progress and you do the things right, you can go a long, long way.
I want to ask you about your favourite moment here at the club, but I've got a favourite Leigh moment, which I can't believe I wasn't going to mention it. Never, I've been doing this since 2018, MANvFAT, obviously different roles within that. Never in my life have we got to the kick-off of a game and 2 boys from the team have rocked up for a 7-a-side match and said, well, we're the only ones. Never have I had to quickly find 5 people, chuck a pink bib on them, which I also had to run and get, and then, as the game's going on, siphon on the pinks that are arriving to join the pinks that are on the pitch, till eventually I think we had 8 or 9 of you in the end. And that was your doing.
Absolutely.
That was your doing with the mistake of kick-off time.
I can't...
Which happens, but it's lived on.
It's the best thing about it, like you said, talk about the groups and everything, and obviously being integrated with people you don't know. Even though people know me know as the fella who put the wrong kick-off time, it does get you talking to other people as well. Yeah. So for the wrong reasons, something good has come out of it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
In the build-up to it, like I said, Brian had left obviously for the team, and he was vice captain, and him and Palmer had a really, really good connection being captain and vice. So Palmer asked me to sort of step up and take over vice captain, but I knew I wasn't there for that particular week. I was working away, and I said to the guys, I said, look guys, yeah, I'll take the vice captaincy, thank you very much, but I'm not here this week, I'll see you all next week. So that week passed, the team actually won that game, but I'll tell you one later on in a moment, which is more ironic about this sort of story. The week I came back then, I actually put in a WhatsApp group, guys, just give you a heads up, what time is kick-off this week? I'm working late, I might be a bit sort of late turning up. And one of the guys actually turned around, Jay said in the group, you're vice captain now, so you can post the availability of players and the lineups and everything. And I said, well, I didn't want to overstep my mark because obviously Palmer was still captain. So I went ahead and then posted the team. But I looked at the fixtures of what I believed was week 3, because it was my week 3, but it wasn't the team's week 3, it was the week 4. So I looked at the time and I said, right, it's 7:30 kickoff, lads, here's the kickoff time. Now this is on the Tuesday.
And what was it?
So it was 7 o'clock kickoff on the correct sheets. I had advertised it as a 7:30. Now this was on the Tuesday, so people have had 4 days to challenge it. But they didn't.
They trusted you.
They trusted the captaincy. But we had, I actually pulled up in the car park, and also I play with contact lenses. And I had Nathan then at the door, and as I'm putting my contact lens, he's looking around. I think, why is he looking at me? The contact lenses go in, door shut, lock the car, and walking down, and he's going, I saw some man, and he said, your team kicked off 20 minutes ago. And I'm just sat in my car casually putting my contact lenses in. So I've run in, I've seen you guys and stand, and I was like, is it 7 o'clock kick off? And he said, they're all out there. So there's 2 iconic things about this. Number 1, we all rushed then to get on the pitch. We were 1-0 down at the time. We were 1-0 down at the time with all the borrowed players.
Yeah.
The pink Lazy players then went on. We lost 6-1. So we should have stayed with the borrowed
Proper
players.
flustered though at that point, right?
Probably should have stayed with the borrows. But then that actually turned out to be the only game on the pitch we'd lost all season.
Really did it? Oh,
So not only do I hold that record, I got that over me as well.
Wow, that's a great story.
But I can say I've known now, also being captain of the Interplay Army, every time I make a comment about what time's kick off, everybody's reassuring me that I should check it just in case.
Oh, I like it. And it's a great story, and you know, the banter is great. Right? When it's good-hearted banter, it's great, and that's a brilliant story to tell for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up. Let's talk about the hypothetical man that I bring into every last question that I ask. He's a hypothetical man. He's a bit of fat, and he's thinking about taking some action. He doesn't really know what to do. He's thinking about MANvFAT, but he isn't quite sure.
Yeah.
What advice would you give him?
Just go with your gut instinct and get going with it. The program is there designed not only for, from my perspective, but a fitness element, but also a weight loss element. And I think sometimes when you are on that kind of journey, you do need people around you to take you along and help you. And I found firsthand that that is very much available here. You've got people there to support you. You can ask questions. I've even some weeks not lost weight that I wanted to, and I've had people review what my track is like, put me in the right direction, so that will help you. But when you are around other people who are on the same journey as you, I believe people thrive a lot more. I certainly have, and I certainly think on my team have as well. So I think if you are on the fence about do I or don't I, maybe I don't know people, honestly, just go take a leap of faith and you'll absolutely enjoy it. There's people here that will help you, there's people you will get on with, you'll find and meet new friends. I would never have imagined me playing 11-a-side football, including this Sunday, with 11 guys from Newport and Bristol, some people that I've never spoken to before in my life. I've probably come across them, like Kirk, for example. My dad refereed him when he was at Cwmbran. I refereed him when he was at Llanwern, and it's getting to the point now, people are recognising me and I recognise them. Right. But I'm now holding conversations with them on more of a friendship level, rather than sort of I think I know you, but I don't know. And then that inspires you to do even more things with them. And I think then the weight loss kind of thing, that kind of comes natural to your progression with MANvFAT, especially when you go there.
Absolute dream. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, mate.